pushing too hard, pushing too hard, pushing too hard on me. Pushing too hard, pushing too hard, pushing too hard, pushing too hard on me.
Laugh Laugh, you mentioned, was one of your favorite
Personal
songs.
favorite of mine, yeah.
And it was one of your favorite songs off the first album, that you liked the first album a lot and you were familiar with that when you were a kid?
Yeah. So, yes. Laugh Laugh is a personal favorite of mine. I liked it when I was young, and I still like it. But when I was young, I was watching Uncle Buck, and that came on in the scene where he's dancing with that lady.
Oh, the neighbor lady
and,
comes
yeah,
over.
she's trying to, like, come on to him or something.
Yeah.
But I noticed, because I'm so familiar with the song and stuff, and it's one of my favorites, so I listened to it more than the other songs, that version was edited. John Hughes edited it for that, so that it ended on that little, like,
yeah, well, directors usually do that. They'll manipulate a song so it serves the scene. And yeah, I guess if it wasn't long enough or whatever, he had to make it end right on time when John Candy's dancing awkwardly like that with the neighbor lady. That's right. Now, Fudgy's music is in a lot of movies, but in two different ways. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, because you're doing a project on that. Fudgy music in films, or Fudgies in films in Hollywood. Now, people use Fudgy music just the way it is off their albums or whatever as popular music in movies. But then the Fudgies have been asked to record specific special music for several movies.
Yeah, they were asked to do original music for the soundtrack of Jaws. That was like the first time they got asked to do original music rather than just using the music they already put out there.
Right, yeah, okay, yes. And that's a good point too, because there was music that people just liked of the Fudgies, so they used it in movies. And you get that a lot with Uncle Buck and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In the 80s, you get it more in the 80s and the 90s than you do the 60s and 70s. Of course, there's
music edited from that.
Right, but I was going to mention Rushmore and Bottle Rocket. That director, Wes Anderson, uses a lot of Fudgy's music. And Fudgy's music you can find in a lot of comedies. It's good like that. But then there was movies that the Fudgies were in. Riot on the Sunset Strip. Optical Sound, the concert film. They're actually in the movie FM, the movie about radio.
Yeah.
FM, No Static at All, that came out in '76. But then they were asked to do soundtracks that they're not in. What are a couple more of those?
Roadies.
Roadies, okay, yeah, boy, I haven't thought of that movie in years. Roadies, and then...
Xanadu.
Xanadu?
Yeah, Xanadu.
Xanadu, right,
one,
yeah, Xanadu. Okay, yeah, and so they were asked to do a lot of soundtrack stuff in the 70s and early 80s. So you're working on a project of just that stuff?
Yeah, it's called Fudgies and Filmed. Yeah, but we're also working on something else.
What else are you working on?
We're working on a Turtles compilation.
Oh, cool.
Turtle Wax.
Oh, right, and that's something that's coming out soon, because I see that promoted a lot as far as like being part of Sunshine Factory this month.
Yeah.
Like it's on the monthly sampler, a couple songs.
Yeah.
It's called what now?
Turtle Wax.
Oh, okay. And what is it? Is it just a compilation? Is it a
it's a compilation, album? Like a best of type of thing.
Cool.
Well, a couple of the people who work at Sunshine Factory got some like personal picks, and we're not the stereotypical people, so we might pick some weird ones.
Oh, cool. All right, great. And then what else are you working on as far as what you're doing at Sunshine Factory for compilations or albums or remasters? Obviously doing the Fudgies, and I just saw that Run was the latest that you remastered.
The latest album. Yeah.
The latest album and that's 1970, Run. So the next one you're going to be remastering is?
A New Mother Nature.
Cool. All right, great. And that's a double album.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're doing another compilation, Paul Revere and the Raiders, Greatest Raiders and Marshmallows.
Oh, that's awesome. I love Paul Revere and the Raiders.
You might have seen that.
Yeah, I saw that on the sampler as well. The song on there, I think, is Ride Your Pony. I'm actually playing some of the sampler stuff after this segment with you. But we've talked a lot, so let's get back into the music and do a few more songs. Yeah. Talk to you one more time before you got to go.
Let's hit the tunes.
Seen her face, her eyes reflect the colors in the sky. A more familiar place to be swept into whenever she's close by. Makes me wonder why. Run Run by, don't turn back. Can't hide from that look in her eye. Must be the way she walks, a style made up to capture all she needs. No time spent on loose talk. If your luck runs right, she might see you tonight. Everything in sight. Run by, don't turn back. Can't hide from that look in her eye. Run by, don't turn back. Can't hide from that look in her eye. You'll find you're locked in her spell. All the sights and sounds, your senses will be found. And only time will tell how much love can be. To wait so patiently, wait and see. Run by, don't turn back. Can't hide from that look in her eye.
Summertime's here, kiddies, and it's time to take a trip. To take a trip. This world's so bad. You feel so sad. You gotta take a trip into a world so glad. A world of frogs and green fountains and flying dogs and silver cats and emerald rats and purple clouds and faceless crowds and walls of glass that never pass, and pictures hanging upside down. You won't ask where you are. It's another world. You and your girl and all your friends will all be there. Oh yeah. Let's take a trip. Let's take a trip. TNT, SOS, HOP, T.O.P. Top. It's top. Hey, here we go now. Let's climb some mountains, everybody. Get on your walking shoes. Start to climb some mountains. Hey, here we go. Let's take a trip. Let's take a trip. Let's start to dream. Let's close our eyes. It's groovy now. Yeah. Floating. Because I'm swimming in beauty. It's all around. Let's take a trip. Climb from the ground. Whoa! Whoa! Yeah. Let's take a trip. It's really hip. No one will know what goes on. Just you and me and the dreams we see. Oh, come on, baby. Oh, come on, baby. You're doing it right. Just put your head back.
All right, well, that was very strange. That's a funny song. I imagine that you like, you said the first album, especially as a kid, was one of your favorites. That's The Trip, which is a very weird song that's on the first album, sung by Scooter and his...
Scooter got a little weird with
yeah,
that.
that's kind of fun, though, because Scooter doesn't, the one who gets weird on other albums is Zach.
Yeah.
So it's funny to kind of hear an early song where Scooter's having some fun.
Yeah.
Now, he's obviously saying some weird stuff there. He's talking about flying dogs and purple clouds and stuff like that. I mean, you were laughing pretty hard when it came on. Now, he co-wrote that with somebody.
Yeah, it was the bass player from the Birds, Clyde. What's his name?
It's listed in the liner notes as Skip.
Skip.
Clyde Skip Batten.
Clyde Skip Batten.
Yeah, and he I guess he is on a couple Birds albums, but originally he was just the bass player when they go on tour.
Yeah.
Now the Fudgies went on tour with the Byrds. That was their first big tour. Was the Byrds.
Yeah.
So there's a
They
lot of
opened for them.
yeah, that's right. So there's a lot of connections between them and the Byrds. There's a 50th anniversary of the album "The Great Jet Plane" happening coming up here pretty soon this summer.
Yeah, that's produced by Roger McGuinn.
Yeah, from the Byrds. Okay, cool. Okay, so that was Clyde Skip Batten, and he wrote some funny lyrics there with Scooter. Now, is he playing bass on that song?
No,
He's playing what?
piano.
Okay, so Penny's not on the track then.
Yeah.
Okay, so that must have been a day when she was not at the studio or
Yeah.
something, because he's playing piano for some reason. But that's probably because that was just a goofy little song they cut. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you real quick about just, we talked about the projects you're working on. We talked about some specific Fudgy songs from this Meet the Fudgies compilation. So just some random questions that I had in mind of asking you what it was like
Rapid fire.
to grow up with Fudgies around you and stuff. So they famously had a Saturday morning show.
Yes, the Fabulous Fudgies and the Impossibles.
Adventure Hour, right? Yeah. And see, now I even remember that. What was it like to be a little kid and have a cartoon show every week
Your family.
with your mom on it and your
Yeah.
family and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It was really cool though. Yeah, it's like
Even stranger than Fat Albert or the Archies is that there was cartoon for most of it, and then a song performance at the end. There was a live performance.
Yeah.
So was that kind of weird for your head? I mean, how is it to? I mean, I guess the better question is, how young did you see it, and when did you actually put two and two
notice,
together? Yeah.
Like 12.
Yeah. And so you saw that it.
I really got into music at like 12.
Yeah, and so it was on probably some sort of like Boomerang rerun type thing. What did you do? Did you have it? Did you eventually have it on DVD? Do you have it now? Do you own it now?
Yeah,
or?
I have it. We're actually, Sunshine Factory is doing a compilation of that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys are covering everything.
Yeah, 2 more compilations. One of that because they did their original music for that. That's not on the albums.
That's a really good point I didn't think about.
So
because,
how do you get that? Yeah.
yeah, how do you get that music? In fact, they had a song I loved as a kid called Adrian, which I looked so hard for, and that's probably what you're talking about right now. The fact that was only shown on the animated show or recorded specifically for it. You're saying they recorded stuff only for the show?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so we're just going to take all of that and put it in a compilation for you.
Oh, cool.
And then they also had another show called Something's Happening.
Well, sure, yeah, that's right.
So
68.
that's original music too.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't think about that. You're right.
So we're going to have a compilation for that too.
Wow. Okay, so you're doing all the rest of the Fudgy album.
Very busy. Yes.
Yeah, you're at 1971's new Mother Nature is next, and you're going to go all the way through to the end of that run.
Yeah.
But you're also doing these side compilations that fill in the gaps, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. That's really great. What about Jaws and FM and Xanadu, the soundtrack stuff? Will that be available at some point?
Yeah, probably that's a good idea.
Well, okay, so that's not in the works, but something that might be down the line.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about or say before we wrap this up here? Then, before you came on here, I played some tracks from Greatest Raiders and Marshmallows and the Turtle Wax.
Yeah.
When are those going to be available?
Yeah. We're aiming for somewhere around April 5th, early April.
To have the compilations that we've just been
yeah.
talking about out. And is that also around the time that you're going to have one of these Fudgy compilations that you're talking about having out, whether it be the Fudgy in Film one or the Fudgy's Saturday Morning Show or the Something's Happening?
Yeah, that's coming. It's a little bit later, but it's coming.
Which one?
Oh, Something's Happening.
Oh, so that's the first
That's
one
the
that we'll
first
probably
one,
see?
Yeah, the show.
Okay, cool, great. And is that going to have music on it from other artists? Because there were
Yeah,
other
because
artists
they had
famously
people
on there,
on,
too.
yeah.
Who else was on that show with them?
The Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, and who else?
The chart topper
Yeah.
for that month or whatever.
Oh, there's a segment at the end?
Yeah.
Where it's the number one song of the week?
Yeah.
That's right, I remember that. I actually remember that from when I used to see that on the air. I mean, it was probably still a rerun.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember seeing that it was like the number one song of the week or whatever. Okay, so lots of compilations still to come from the Fudgies, plus their albums, remastered
Yep.
and everything. And you guys are doing Turtle stuff, and you're doing Paul Revere and the Raiders stuff.
The Woodstock Freedom Volunteers.
Okay, that's right. This is the 50th anniversary
Yeah.
of Woodstock.
50th anniversary of a lot of things.
That's right. Of anything that happened in the summer of '69.
Yeah.
Has
This
anything?
year.
They're doing another Woodstock this year.
Yeah.
Is anything going on with with the Fudgies and Woodstock? I know they weren't at
Yeah,
the
they weren't
original.
at it, but
They weren't at the original Woodstock.
yeah, but Woodstock's asking other people popular at that time to come on. So yeah, the Fudgies got asked.
Oh, okay. And do you know anything about it?
No.
No, you don't have an answer on that yet.
Confidential.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Well, do you think maybe, even if you don't know now, or if you do know now and you can't say anything because it's too early, do you think maybe we could be some of the first people you tell? Maybe
Yeah.
come back on the show and talk to us about if they're going to actually perform.
Yeah.
I do know you're right. They are asking people. They asked John Fogerty from Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
I think he said yes. So they've contacted your mom and other Fudgy members because everybody's alive and well, right?
Yeah. In the future, we're hoping to get back on track with the monkeys. We're also doing some animal stuff and some the Guess Who stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, great. So you guys got lots of stuff coming for us.
Yes.
And as far as Fudgy fans,
Very excited.
they're covered. Very excited. Well, thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. I hope you come back again if you have any more cool news about what's going on this summer with the Fudgies. Thank you very much.
Now when you're feeling low and the fish won't bite, you need a little bit of soul to put you right. You gotta make like you wanna deal and pray, and then a little bit of soul will come your way. Now when your girl is gone and you're broken too, you need a little bit of soul to see it through. And when you raise your up with your rock and roll, you'll get a lot more kids with a little bit of soul. And when your body falls and there's nobody through it, a little bit of soul and it really starts moving, Now when you're in a mess and you feel like crying, just remember this a little song of mine. And as you go through life trying to reach your goal, just remember I said about a little bit of soul. A little bit of soul, yeah, a little bit of soul.